Welcome to the Quick Hitter version of the Mike Wise Show. I'm joined by my producer, Bruce Bernstein, with reflections on the first weekend of the NBA playoffs, including all these cretins in the stands that somehow paid for a ticket. Last thing of all, the fan disease right now. Yeah, the fanatic disease that's going on. It seems to be all over basketball between Russell Westbrook getting popcorn dumped on him, Kyrie getting a bottle thrown at him in Boston,
Trae Young being spit on in New York.
Yeah, Trae Young being spit on in New York. This is. I understand that fans are they're paying a lot more money than they used to. They don't have the relationship they used to with players because there's so much insulation now to even, you almost have to go to a person's book promotional or really wait him out after he comes out of it. And then even then you're going to get a scribble of an autograph. I understand there's not a closeness, but I almost feel like people go to the game now to denigrate more than they celebrate sometimes. Like, it's almost like I'm going to boo this guy and root against this person more than I'm going to root for my own team. That to me is bothersome. It's just, I know it's a civility that's gone, and the former administration jumped on, and we have so much ugliness in the society. And but man, when you see it at a game like that, it's just it's unseemly.
I just could never understand it. I mean, I've gone to playoff games where I've purchased tickets, and some of those tickets, I mean, I've spent, $300 on a playoff ticket, times 2 or 3 with the kids, whatever. So if I'm going to spend $1,000 to go to a playoff game, why? I mean, to me, that's, first of all, it's a privilege to be able to do it if you're financially able enough to do it. And then, you have the ability to get the tickets. You have no right to act that way. You have no right. Look, go ahead and boo if you want. Go ahead and, cheer for your team. But you have no right to throw a bottle, certainly not to spit. And again, I'm a Boston fan, but I recognize I've seen some miserable fans in Boston. I remember going to a playoff game with my wife and kids, and these rowdy guys, and we had pretty good seats, these rowdy guys in front of us, they were standing up the whole game. They were yelling. They were drunk as all hell. And I remember, we said to them, guys, we're trying to watch the game. Can you sit down? And guys started giving me shit. And then it turned out that wasn't even their seats. I mean, we didn't rat them out to security, but the people whose seats actually were eventually showed up and got these people out of there. And it's like, it was so, I was so glad because they were ruining the game for us. And it's just like, show up at the game, but act like a human being. Kevin Durant, and even Kyrie had a point where it's like, we're not animals in a circus. We're human beings. And I 100% agree with them on that.
Yeah, I do too. I still remember the most disturbing incident in my NBA sports writing career was in Philadelphia during the NBA Finals in 2002 or 2001. I take that back. And it was the Sixers against the Lakers. It was I want to say it was the first game there. And I just remember, this was right in back of the press row, like in the bottom part of the bowl. You just heard this, people are screaming. And it was a race thing too. I mean, big black guys, big white guys throwing haymakers at each other, blood, a guy grabbing his little daughter to make sure she didn't get hurt, screaming. And I'll give as much as I get under Peter Vessi's skin and think he's an awful person, I'll give him this. He got involved in, he almost tried to stop it. I don't think he would have done anything, but he almost tried to stop it himself. And the perpetrators of the whole thing, they were guys knocked out, bloody. They just walked out of the arena at the end. And to this day, I don't know if they were ever prosecuted or anything. And it was one of the most ugly things I've seen. And it was during NBA Finals Game 1. I was like, wow, unbelievable. But whatever.
Well, you know,
Um,
if the Nets end up playing the 76ers, which is a distinct possibility at some point, if the Nets get by Milwaukee and Philly can advance and get past Atlanta, and of course, you know, the Wizards, um, think of the reception that the Nets will get in Philadelphia.
ah,
The Boston fans and Philadelphia fans have a lot in common, I would say. So you know, put on your big boy pants, Brooklyn. You know, because you know you're going to get a little taste of that if you get to Philadelphia.
if you want to hear more from Bruce and myself, check out the full version of the Mike Wise Show from Pure Hoops Media. You can also see the video version of the Quick Hitter on the Pure Hoops Media YouTube channel.